Okay, so this is our last formula. Spheres. In the real world, where do you see spheres?
Soccer.
Like at Target,
Okay.
a basketball.
A soccer ball, a basketball,
Golf ball.
a golf ball. Okay?
Football. No.
The earth is a sphere. Okay? Any sports ball that you're using is a sphere. Well, not football, but round. Okay? This globe up here, yes, is a sphere. Okay? Sometimes oranges are spheres. They're perfect circles. Okay? So, you're going to see spheres in the real world. Okay? Remember, volume is inside. How much air fits in my soccer ball? How much water can fit in this water balloon? Okay? Now, 4/3. How do I put this in the calculator?
Oh, alpha X.
Okay. And do whichever one works for you. I personally like alpha X. Alpha Y also is easy. You can also do parentheses. 4 divided by 3 parentheses. Okay? Make sure you know how to do the fractions. Okay? Now, the next part, the cubed. Anybody remember how to do this on the calculator?
Wait, what are you asking?
How to raise it to the third power.
Oh, you press the carrot button and then
Good. And you use the correct terminology. Good, Gemma. So this is called the caret button. It's above the divide sign. So does everybody see that? It's above the divide sign. That's called the caret button. That's how you raise it to the third power.
You can also do the square button and then the arrow.
Over to delete it. Okay. So we talked about spheres. A vocabulary word that you need to know is half of a sphere. Does anyone know what half of a sphere is called?
Half of a sphere. Hemisphere. Hemisphere.
Hemisphere. You should talk about this in history. They break up
History.
the globe. They don't talk about hemispheres in history?
No.
In world cultures? Oh,
that's science.
okay. Okay, maybe, I don't know. Okay, but a hemisphere is half of a circle. And again, it's not a circle because we're talking about 3D shapes.
Oh, Santa Claus is a circle.
Okay?
No.
No, he's not. He's just
All right. We're not going to go over all this stuff because to me, explaining how you got the formula is a little bit more confusing. If you really care to know, I'll be happy to show you. But most people just want to know the formula so they can use it. Okay? All right. So first thing, the only number they're going to give me is the radius because we already know what pi is and there's nothing else in the formula. So I'm just given the radius. Okay? So on question 1, do we have the radius? Yes. Okay? And I know you're using a calculator, but I need you to write your numbers down because sometimes they ask you which formula works. And if you just put it in your calculator, then you have no idea. 4/3 pi r cubed. Make sure we are cubing, not squaring. Okay? So then it's going to be 4/3 times
3.14.
okay, times the radius, which is 3 cubed. Now, when you get the answer, do not shout it out. I want you to show your neighbor. Don't even say it out loud because practicing this is very important. Okay? There's a lot to have to do, a fraction and a cubing. So practice. Show your neighbor when you get the answer. Don't say the answer. If y'all got it different, have a conversation. Oh, you forgot to cube it. Oh, you put 1/3 instead of 4/3. Whatever.
Miss Davis, can I go get some water?
After notes. And you got to use your bathroom passes too to get water.
Oh, really?
She went during notes?
Well, and I told her, I said, it's notes. She goes, I just told her I gotta get some. So I'm writing her notes down, but yeah, I was like, can you...
Did everybody show someone their calculator? Yes? Okay, what'd y'all get?
Wait, guys.
I got 113.
I got 113.
Point zero
I got 113.0 whatever fully.
Units
Units
cubed.
cubed.
Okay. On number 2. Do we have the radius? No, we have...
We have the diameter.
What is the radius?
The radius is half of it, so it's 6.
Okay, so our formula, 4/3 pi r cubed, 4/3 times 3.14 times 6 cubed. Now I want to show you a trick, because when you're doing a lot of spheres, or if you make a mistake, I'm going to show you how to do this without having to type it every single time. So arrow up to where you typed it a while ago, and it's blue. And then push enter, and what does it do? It copies it and brings it down. So now I can just arrow over and change that 3 to a 6. Okay, if you do this, it helps to make sure you don't make a lot of mistakes. Also, if you made a mistake and you should have added or done something, that's an easy way to copy it and fix that one mistake instead of retyping the whole thing.
I know the answer.
Okay?
Be quiet.
No need to
I said please.
I know, but
Yeah, same.
okay. What's the answer?
The answer is
904
units cubed.
Oh my god.
Okay, so now I'm going to have to start picking people because it's a competition.
Pick me, choose me, love me.
Okay, do number 3 by yourself. Go.
Okay.
You don't need to talk to do it. You don't need to talk to do it when you're done. Show your calculator to a neighbor when they're done. Don't like shove yours in their face. See if you got the same answer.
Can I be the person that tells the answer?
Give someone else a chance. Hold on. I'm giving everybody a chance to show their neighbor because people are still writing. If you're not quick at math, it's super easy to get frustrated and shut down because people are quick. Doesn't mean you're smarter than them, you're just quicker. And I don't want people who are struggling to be frustrated because y'all always just give them the answers. So let's be patient. Let's wait for each other and let's all get it right together. Yes. Okay, Brooklyn, what did you get?
523.3.
Repeating, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody okay with this? Units cubed, good.
How do we know what unit?
If it doesn't tell you, you just put U in for units. Okay, on the back, what do the directions want us to do?
We have to find the volume of each sphere and leave your.
In terms of pi.
That means that you don't put the pi in the value.
Okay,
No, you put the pi in, you just don't.
you don't include 3.14. Okay, so on the first picture, do we have the radius? No, we have the
That's like
diameter. Brandon, what's the radius?
6.5.
Thank you, Brandon. 6.5. Now this says in terms of pi. So our formula is still 4/3 pi r cubed. But I'm not going to plug in 3.14. I'm leaving pi, but I need to plug in my radius, which Brandon told us was 6.5 cubed. Okay, do not shout the answer out. Give everybody a chance to multiply. And make sure you leave pi in your answer. Round it to the nearest tenth, which means what? One number. Yes,
So when we do in terms of pi, you still put
the pi symbol.
okay.
You just never multiply it.
I know it. Wait, do we share that here?
Okay, Whitley, go ahead. Yes. Yeah.
The answer is 366.2 pi.
Very good.
But why, like, do we do this?
It gives you a more exact answer in terms of pi, and the state is going to test it that way. But we're not going. Shh, hold on. We're not going to, like in real life. I don't know when you'd ever do that, but because the state of Texas wants to test us that way, I got to teach you that way. Brandon, question.
I think Angela's pretty wrong.
That wasn't Angela.
That wasn't Angela. That was Whitley. That's correct, though.
What I get?
What?
What did you get?
I got 1,000.
Did y'all multiply it by 3.14?
No.
What did you put in your calculator?
4, 3, and then the little dash mark, and then 6.5 cube.
Bring it here and let me look.
It's not.
Okay, do the next two by yourself. Go. Do the next two by yourself. Go. Do the next two by yourself. Brandon, you got the same thing.
Yeah. There we go.
She got 0.2. I got 0.1.
I said to round it to the nearest tenth.
Yeah.
So that 6 tells you to round that to a 2. Y'all stop talking and do the next two by yourself. Remember, you're leaving pi. You can compare with the neighbor when they finish. Don't rush them. Leave. Yes, round to the nearest tenth. Yes.
Wait, but
I got the same.
Then just like on the warm up, you just put a 0 or leave it blank.
Oh, that's. I just had a brain fart.
can I share the last one?
Check with your neighbor. See if you got the same answer. If you missed it, see what you put in the calculator. Did you type something wrong? Did you accidentally square instead of cube? Did you do 1/3 instead of 4/3? There's a lot of little mistakes that you might have made. Okay, Shreya, what'd you get for number 5? Perfect. Okay, 2304 pi. If you missed it, look up here. Brooklyn, what's number 6?
1,700. I mean, 1,072.55
Very good.
cube.
Very good. So if you missed it, make sure you look at your work. Make sure you look at my work. Okay? We're going to do number 7 only.
Instead of writing 3.14.
Wait, so
Plug in 3.14. What?
when do we?
Okay. Yes, Brandon. All right. Number 7 is the last one we're doing together.
You're moving way too fast today.
Number 7 says a hemisphere. What's a hemisphere? Half of a circle. Has a radius of 7. Find the hemisphere. So you're going to do the hemisphere formula and divide by 2. Do it by yourself, and then we'll go over it.
Wait, we're doing.
Number 7.
Is it the same formula?
Same formula, but you're dividing by 2 at the end.
So wait, 4/3 pi r cubed divided by 2.
So,
Is it? Are we doing? Was I right? Are we doing 4/3 pi r cubed?
You're doing the same exact formula we've been using all day today, but you're dividing it by 2 at the
I
end.
just got those wrong.
Because you plugged in pi and not 3 instead of left it out.
So when do we plug in pi? When do we not?
The only time you don't plug in 3.14 is if it says in terms of pi. So like on this one, you're plugging it in. Yes, round to the nearest tenth.
Wait, how do we get out of the cube?
Arrow over.
So why don't we use like a whole different formula for it? Why don't we just do 4/3 r cubed instead of the pi?
I don't know.
This is why I don't like math.
Well, math loves you, Brandon.
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
So I do like.
Okay, who feels like they got it right?
I don't.
Wait, so we
Two
are-
people?
wait, so we are supposed to be pi?
Yes. On this one, you're using the pi. You're using 3.14. Okay.
Wait,
The-
on which one?
Oh my gosh, y'all listen. The only time you do not put in 3.14 is if it asks you to leave it in terms of pi, which is why I highlighted up here, in terms of pi. Every other time you're using 3.14. On today's homework, you're using 3.14. Okay? All right. Emily, you feel confident? What'd you get?
718.
Okay, that is also what I got, 718. It's 718.01, but I asked you to round to the nearest tenth. So 718. Okay, if you missed it, here is the work. Here's the steps. Check your work with mine. Okay?